everybody, welcome back to the range. Bushy Tail down here doing some more 22 Magnum ammo testing. Today we're going to compare two different CCI, well, two similar CCIs. They're both the Maxi-Mag. Both 40 grain, both moving 1,875 feet per second. Only difference, 40 grain hollow point, 40 grain total metal jacket. On the surface, you'd think that that wouldn't make much of a difference. And it probably won't, especially not at 25 yards. But something that I noticed with the Fiocchi testing, even at 40 grain, there was a huge difference between, well, not huge, but there was a very noticeable difference between the hollow points and the total metal jacket and pointed soft points. I mean, the hollow points are made to mushroom so that they don't over penetrate, but it's 22 Magnum. We're talking about small game. It's not like the bullet's going to stay in the body. 25 yards, same 2-inch target circles that we've been doing, same two guns. We've got the Marlin 983S and the CZ 457. It's starting to warm up today. We're in the low 50s, but still a little bit different than it was some of the earlier testing when it was upper 80s, low 90s. It's a beautiful day at the shooting range, though. The wind has died down from what it was earlier. Yeah, I filmed a couple of these videos on the same day. So if you watched the earlier, one of the earlier CCI videos, the wind was moving a lot more. It is hardly even noticeable right now. It hasn't really impacted us shooting yet, but so it won't impact us this time either. And without further ado, let's get shooting. Okay, so all loaded up with the 40 grain hollow points out of the CZ. All right, now let's get loaded up with the total metal jackets. All right, loaded up with the total metal jackets out of the CZ. Well, I can tell through the scope that that's a good grouping. Now let's see what it can do out of the Marlin. Okay, all loaded up with the 40 grain jacketed hollow points out of the Marlin 983. All right, let's get loaded up with the total metal jackets. Okay, all loaded up with 40 grain total metal jackets out of the Marlin 983. See if I can find that round that went off the table. So I've got a good primer strike on it. Well, it went bang that time. All right, let's go get the results. All right, so here's the results for the CCIs. Now you can tell that groupings are going to be astonishing, especially this one here. So we got the vertical, the horizontal for all of these. Let's get to measuring. So the 40 grain hollow points out of the CZ, your vertical is 0.375 inches. Your horizontal is right at a ½ inch. Now the total metal jackets We got a 1/4 of an inch vertical and a 1/4 of an inch horizontal. Now, out of the Marlin, that's the same, a 0.375 vertical, and man, this is a tight horizontal. 0.125 inches. I mean, that's 1/8 of an inch. Now, and that's out of the hollow points. And the vertical out of the total metal jackets is 3/4 of an inch. And the vertical, sorry, the horizontal is 1/4 of an inch. Now, we did have some issues. We had a failure to fire and a failure to feed. Okay, so let's talk about the results for the CCIs that we just did, the 40 grain total metal jackets and the 40 grain hollow points. What surprised me is there was a big difference. Well, again, I say big, not big, but there was a very noticeable difference in the Fiocchi testing between the total metal jackets and the hollow points. And in this one, there was not. In fact, the Marlin shot the hollow points better than the total metal jackets, whereas the CZ, it was pretty much the total metal jackets were better, but not significantly better. I mean, 0.375 inches versus 0.25 inches. 1/8 of an inch was the difference. And sure, 1/8 of an inch may be the difference between hitting and missing if you're at 1 inch or 1 1/8 inches, but you know, 1/4 of an inch versus 3/8 of an inch, not a huge difference. Reliability. So had a failure to feed through the CZ, and a failure to fire out of the Marlin. The Marlin's failure to fire was out of the total metal jacket. The CZ's failure to feed was out of the hollow point. Some notes about the reliability. It's kind of expected that occasionally you're going to get a failure to feed, you know, a good primer strike, but it doesn't go off. You're going to find that in any ammunition. I have a hard time though, and maybe that's the only time I'll have it if I shot, you know, the whole box or 200 rounds or 300 rounds or whatever. And that may be, but I do have a hard time endorsing something if I have any type of failures. And I also had a failure in one of the other videos on a CC round as well, a CCI round as well. I know that I compare a lot of things to the Fiocchis, but the Fiocchis so far out of my rifles are the best that I've found. Sure, the Hornady's group better, but I've also been hunting with them, and the CCI or the Fiocchis aren't tearing up ammo or tearing up game. And also, I have fired close to 600 rounds of Fiocchi right now, and I have had 0 feeding issues out of any rifle and 0 firing issues out of any rifle. So that's what I'm going with. Anyways, I know a lot of you guys and gals are shooting CCI. Let me know what you think about this test in the comments. As always, like, subscribe, get your brothers, cousins, uncles, roommates to like and subscribe, and hit that alert button so that you can know when I'm doing more videos and when I put them out. And thanks for watching. We will see you at the range next time.